Hi, this is Saucy J at Keep It Simple TV, back with another Real Housewives of Potomac Season 6, Episode 7, recap and review. Hey guys, good to see you again. It looks like it was another doozy. The Real Housewives of Potomac is really bringing it this season. So let's get into it. But before we do so, please hit the like button. That helps me out with the algorithm. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let's discuss what happened in this episode in the comments. All right. Okay, I do have to apologize for my last recap and review. I ran out, I think, of storage of data. I don't know. I'm going to be trying to work to get better equipment because I do want to do this, just kind of like build up my channel. So I do need to make an investment in getting some better equipment. But anywho, you work with what you have. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. So I got cut off at a very good part, even though it was way to the end. It was the scene between Karen and Wendy, and I was sitting there the whole time, like clutching my hands, like clutching my pearls, my imaginary pearls, and I was like, Wendy, don't trust Karen. Wendy, whatever you do, and it was like, girl, don't let them see you sweat. And like Karen said, don't cry, and she cried. And I think we as women, we have always been there before, where some people really have gotten to us, and especially if you consider them to be your friends, and they just start picking at you. And it's not so much what they're saying that holds weight. It's more of like, why are they attacking you? And I think that's where Wendy is. And it did affect her because they were supposed to be going swimming that day, which is in the new episode I'm going to review in the next couple of minutes. And Wendy, we see Wendy meeting with Karen. She's all covered up. They're at it's warm where they're at, and she's got I think a turtleneck on and a long sweater, coat, and pants. Excuse me, and she's fully covered, and it's like, whoa, and Karen's like, hey, don't let them affect you. You're about to go swimming, girl. Put on your bathing suit. Let's go. And that's the best advice. Karen knows how to do that. That's her. She's a mother. She has 2 children. Even though they're adults, and it looked like they were well raised, because it looks like her son is about his business and her daughter's doing well. And she's a wife, so she knows how to give that motherly advice that makes you feel good. And that's what made Candace really like Karen. She bought into Karen's act, because trust me, that's all it is an act. Karen don't like those women. She's just trying to stay on the show. If anything, she probably would want to be cool with Giselle. For whatever reason, everybody wants to be cool with Giselle. And I'll get to that in a moment, why I think everybody wants to be cool with Giselle, why they give her so much power, so much energy. Wendy is like, well, I looked up to Giselle like she was, a big sister. And that was Wendy on the slide getting a dig at Giselle, because Giselle is older than her. Wendy's still in her dirty 30s. Giselle is over 50 now, and she just didn't expect her sorority sister to attack her like that. And I was going to see if Giselle was going to hold off on Wendy, because they are both members of the AKAs, Alpha Kappa Alpha. But I really think Wendy didn't undergrad pledge. I think she pledged on the grad school level, and from what I heard, when you pledge at the grad school level, they don't get as much respect from the other members that pledge on the undergrad level. Plus, more than likely looking at Giselle, she's probably a legacy, because for those of you who don't know, the AKAs back in the day, way back in the day, you had to pass the paper bag test to get into the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. But now they claim they don't do that no more. But So a lot of the women that were part of that sorority were very light skinned. You had to pass the paper bag test. Anyway, so, when Wendy first came on, she didn't really go in. I was watching just to see. But it seems like this season, the gloves are off. They are not sorors. She's not looking out for her sister. So for her Greek sister. So Wendy's like, whoa, she's feeling the wrath of Giselle this season. So we now we're going to go to episode 7, which was called Gossip Girl. And so we see the ladies leaving the servants' quarters. That's what I call where Ascala, Karen, and Wendy are staying. And they have to actually get into a little golf cart to get to the big house, the main house where, the pretty girls are staying, right? And I still think Candace was wrong for putting Wendy out there. I think she should have had Wendy in the house with her and put Robin out there with Ascala, because Robin and Ascala are supposed to be friends. But instead she let the green-eyed bandits stay together. She let Giselle pull rank, which I wouldn't have. I'd be like, my girl Wendy, my only ally, is going to be in the house with me. I don't know where everybody else is going to be, but Wendy's going to be in the house with me. But that's just me. So, because everybody wants to stay on the good side of Giselle. She is right now the head bee in charge. So the girls don't know how to operate the golf cart. Ascala is like, it says, stop and go and park. And so Wendy's like, well, I'd like to know how to reverse. And she's like, oh. So Karen starts walking off like, I don't know. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and figure this out. I'm just going to start walking. So anyway, they figured it out and picked up Karen along the way. I thought that was a cute scene. And that's one of the things I like about Potomac. They can still have cute scenes like this, and they can still laugh and kiki, and other than, like Atlanta, where it's just guns drawn. So then, let's see. So everybody, we get to the big house. So what is her name? Oh my God, Candace and Giselle are first down to breakfast, and Giselle's looking for crispy pancakes. Really, Giselle, you could stand to lose about a couple of pounds there. And they're just laughing and talking and stuff. And then comes down Mia being her fake phony self. I was really trying to like Mia at first, but now I'm thinking she's kind of weird and she's a liar. I mean, they all probably lie, but her lies are just so obvious. You don't even have to dig around. She just says stuff and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not true. And she's not a very good liar, because then she forgets what she says. It's just like, oh well. Anyway, moving on. And she's just weird to me. And so anyway, she starts off with a lie in the morning. It was funny how, Giselle went in for a kiss, but she's like, well, I already talked to you. And then she gives Candace a kiss because she was like, I hadn't seen you. I thought that was funny. And so then comes in Robin looking crazy. I'm like, Robin, I can't wait till Robin take those sprays out of her head. They just are so unattractive on her. They just look horrible. And her and Giselle need to invest in a stylist. If they have to share a stylist, they should do so. Because they need some help with their clothes, their hair. It's just like, you got your nerve talking about Wendy. Wendy has got the memo. Wendy understands what she wants from the Real Housewives of Potomac and the whole Bravo brand, all that. Just recently, she was on Watch What Happens Live, looking fabulous, looking gorgeous, with her husband, Eddie, at the bar, as they normally do. When they have guests on there, they have their mate at the bar or whatever. And Wendy looked fabulous. Andy seemed to be really happy with her. And that's the person you want to keep happy, which is Andy Cohen. So, anyway, Mia lies and tells, what's her name, Robin, that she looks good. She looked like a goddess. That was lie number 1. No, she didn't. She did not look like a goddess. She looked washed out, I'm just like, girl, like, what are you doing? You know, you're barely on this show by a string. I think next season they should definitely make her a friend of the show, but we all know that she's there to back up Giselle. And from what, like, I may have told you guys this before, Giselle begged for Robin to be back on the show because I think they wanted to get rid of her because her life is boring, you know, and it's like, not her and Juan, they're gonna be in that situation, which is fine. If they love it, I like it, you know. But anyway, so then Mia tells Giselle that Karen was upset with Giselle when Giselle called her a troll. And of course, Giselle is like, I call bullshit on that. You know, Karen is not upset with me calling her a troll. You know, that's just some mess she told you. And then Wendy makes a grand entrance. And Wendy looked good. She took off that stupid white outfit, which really was loungewear, and cheap loungewear at that. And she comes in looking like a bronze goddess. I love that swimsuit on her. She looked good. That surgeon, whoever did her surgery, did a very good job. You know, she can actually wear like, and it's like you don't see any scars, nothing. She looks good. I'm waiting for the breasts to drop down because they're a little too high. They, you know, but other than that, she looks good. She looks good. 37-year-old mother of 3, she looks good. So of course Giselle is looking at her and she's like, well, you know, doing all this. I'm like, wow, Giselle, you are really affected. Just look, just ask the woman for her doctor's card and get it over with. Stop hating, you know, just get you a glow up. You know, you're supposed to be doing that anyway. You've been on TV 6 years and you've gone from looking beautiful, like fabulous, stunningly beautiful, to, girl, that weight is not looking good on you. Your face is, you know, aging a little bit. It's okay. You're on TV. People expect you to get a little work done. So, you know, Giselle is just like, okay, let me just like get out of here. So she asked Robin to step out the room for a minute. So everybody's like, where they going? You know, what them hoes talking about? So, and Wendy's like, oh, you know, they probably gonna go talk about me. Well, as it turns out, they didn't. What's her name? Giselle pulled out Robin to talk about what's going on with Robin. Robin, as we already heard, is experiencing depression. You know, she can't get up in the morning, and it's just hard. Life is hard for her right now. And I think what we have to remember, this was being filmed during COVID as we were like kind of coming out of it. So leading up to that, everything got shut down. Yeah, and it could be depressing, and then you're home and you got the boys with you all the time. They're probably vying for your attention, and now you got to be mother and teacher and make sure these boys are getting their work done, and it's been a hard struggle. Plus, she's trying to have this hat business, which when I did go online to check out her hats, everything was sold out. So she, you know, she's got a lot on her plate right now. And I really think she just wanted to be a rich wife. But since she squandered Juan's wealth, and he probably doesn't, I know they do get, he probably gets a pension. I don't know when his pension is gonna kick in. Excuse the sirens, it is summertime. You know, right now, money is tight. So yeah, she probably didn't want to do all the stuff that she's having to do right now to make ends meet. So anyway, Giselle is, as usual, obsessed with Juan. She's obsessed with Juan and Chris. I think Giselle would like to have either one of them. So she said, you know, she tells Robin, you know, you cannot be like this around your fine husband. How about you tell her, you know, not just your husband, your children, your child who was a student is failing at English. He's got a 48%. It's like, if nothing else doesn't get you up and going, your children should, you know. But anyway, Robin is focused on the men because women are defined in her world by a man, and, you know, she doesn't have one. So what's the definition for herself? So anyway, so she's bugging, you know, just jugging to me Robin with that mess, like, oh, you got to do this for your husband, you got to get up, you got to feel better, what are you doing, how's your business going? And that's important. That's a good question, you know. And so she's like, it's going great, I'm getting all these offers, and I don't want to respond to them for fear of failure. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and let them do this, and then it drops. And she's really, because she knows how it was to be at the top, and then it's all just ripped out from under you. You know, like Robin and Juan had that big fabulous wedding. She had that big beautiful diamond ring, which people have noticed that she's not wearing that fake ring. That and it's nothing wrong with it. It was some type of diamondite, something, you know, because he couldn't get her that big diamond like she probably had before. They probably had to give that up to just keep their heads above water. And so she doesn't wear it. And people said they haven't noticed it. I don't know. I haven't looked that hard. So, you know, I'm taking too long on the scene. So basically, you know, that's what they were out there talking about. Robin feeling, suffering depression, suffering from fear of failure. And but as I found out later on, and on another show called Kempire, Robin is a paid ambassador for Better Health. So, which is like an online psychology service, mental health service. You know, you can, I guess, join their, you know, buy a membership and get mental health counseling. So that's her storyline. And so next, moving on from that, oh, and before we get to that, you know, Robin has had offers for her hats from Macy's, TJ Maxx, and QVC, and she hasn't responded. That's something. So while they're out there talking like that, Karen tries to make inroads with Candace. You know, she's still trying to build the relationship up with Candace that she destroyed by going to HR when she was trying to get Candace fired. If I was Candace, me and her would never be friends. You know, she was trying to take food out of your mouth. So Candace shut that down, saying that, you know, because, you know, Karen brought up about what Giselle said, that, you know, basically that Chris is riding Candace's coattails and how she shouldn't feel bad about that. And Candace's like, no, I don't. You know, she knows how Giselle is, and she knows that Giselle is not capable of being couth 24 hours a day. And Mia agrees. I'm like, okay, watch out, Mia, because Giselle is going to come after you. She's going to get over the fact that you know what, you had an abusive childhood. She's just going to take the gloves off, and then you're going to become the target, like Wendy is the target right now. So and one of the thoughts I got from Giselle so far is like, Giselle is like acting like she's still the first lady in a church, and that she can go around and tell everybody, you know, well, girl, you need to do this in your relationship, you need to do that in your relationship, but don't ask about hers with the pastor, right? Who's, as they say, slinging DICK, dick all over town, whatever. And so anyway, next the ladies are all like getting ready to go for water aerobics, and those big caps they're wearing are like the extra large swimming caps that will cover, you know, their weaves and wigs and braids and all that. I don't know why they're making a big deal about that. They know that I think most of them have like some type of extensions on, whether they're braids or weaves or whatever, and you know, that really keeps your hair dry. So I don't know why they were making a big deal about that. So they get in the water, and it's a real deal. You know, Giselle is out there with the weights for water aerobics, and she's really teaching the ladies moves and stuff. And that's stuff that my grandmother was doing, water aerobics. I never joined her, but yeah, so it looks like the ladies were having fun. And then the women that didn't get involved, I think it was Mia and Karen. Karen's trying to look good because she's getting I think she's going to be an ambassador for Surrey County, or she's getting the keys to the city, and she's going to represent Surrey County. So she was trying to keep her wig together. You know, she didn't want no water attacking her lace front. Then we see stupid Ashley arrive with her big forehead and chin. I don't know how she won a beauty contest. I really don't. I mean, she's okay, but that forehead and that chin, I don't know. She looks like a light bulb head. But anyway, you know, she shows up because she's trying to get her check. She's trying to stay on the show. So yeah, she shows up for a day to get paid. And right away, the lying begins, the mess begins. But she can get away with it because she's got the right skin color. Let Candace do it. People are going to rip her to shreds. So, yes, what I say here, so basically, you know, people are like, oh, you're here, you made it, and blah, blah, blah. And so in her confessional, I think she said, she lied and said that she could not leave Dean, but this time, you know, she could leave 2 of her kids, but she couldn't leave the one. No, actually, what happened was Michael was not going to watch Dean, so you had to take Dean with you. That's the truth. So anyway, but Ashley looks good, you know, even though that big forehead always throws me off, but she looks good. And so she gets all the tea from Karen and Mia, and Karen tells her that, yeah, you know, she survived being a target of Giselle's aggression, but she still wants an apology for her kids from Giselle. And Karen, what's her name? Ashley's looking at her like, really? Come on, Karen, you're making a big deal out of nothing. So, but, you know, just Karen is like, no, I want my apology, even though her kids were adults when Giselle said what she said. And on top of the fact, she never wished Ray death. She just was saying her looks, you know, will last way longer than he stays alive, or something to that effect. I got that all wrong. But anyway, that's the gist of it. So then Karen tells her that, yeah, not only was I attacked, Candace was attacked. Then Robin, her own friend, she attacked her own friend, and then she laid into Wendy and ended up making Wendy cry because, you know, she told Wendy that she lacked substance because Wendy was showing off her new plastic surgery. So Ashley was like, what? I can't believe, not my friend. It's like, girl, first of all, Giselle is not your friend. Giselle has never really accepted you or liked you. You're hanging on by a thread. But people like you and your husband. Why? I don't know, because if your husband was black and did the stuff that Michael did, you guys would not be on the show. So anyway, Ashley starts drinking beer. I guess it's safe for her to drink beer and breastfeed. And she's already 2 beers in. And so she I think she meets up with Giselle to get the latest. We see Karen on the phone with her husband talking, and Ray's like, look, enough about Giselle. I don't want to hear no more about that broad. And I agree, and I love, because like Giselle said, you know, like, well, she said to Giselle that, you know, Karen thinks she lives rent-free in Giselle's head. No, it's the other way around. Giselle lives rent-free in your head, Karen. You're obsessed with her. So, and it's mainly because you want to be the leader on the show, but Giselle is the natural born leader of this show. Everybody wants to be in Giselle's good graces. Why? We'll get to that. If not in this recap, in another one. So anyway, Ashley updates Giselle about what she talked about with, you know, Karen, about Giselle had Wendy crying over what she said. And so Giselle's like, well, I didn't know that. At the table she seemed fine, and everything I was saying was not meant to attack her. It was just to let her know my observations. And really, that's because, you know, the reason why she ended up crying is because what's really going on in her life is that there's a possibility that Eddie is cheating on her. So no, I'm not, you know, Giselle's like, I'm not owning it. You know, she got other things going on. You know, she got a husband that may or may not be cheating on her. So, and, you know, that's what was going online. And so, of course, Ashley's like, what? And Ashley's like, well, I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. And so anyway, and I got a lot of notes here, sorry. And then the ladies go to lunch, and Ashley wants a recap from the ladies at lunch what happened. And, last night, because, Ashley told, said at the table and to Wendy that, yeah, I heard you cried about what happened, what Giselle and Robin had said to you. And so, Wendy opens up and says, yes, and Karen was really there for me. She poured her heart to me. And so Candace was like, had this look on, like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, girl, you really gonna say that? Even Giselle was like, wait a minute, Wendy, didn't you see how Karen did your friend last year? Like, now you really think Karen's your friend? You really think Karen cares about you? This is the same woman that she too tried to get you fired. But anyway, so Wendy is, swilling this crap to the table about how, Karen has been so good to her and poured out her emotions. So she was able to, let out some emotions, whatever. And, so yeah, she got a little emotional about it. And she, the part that got her upset was that Giselle said she was lacking substance. And like last year she was full of substance, but this year she isn't. So Giselle was like, it's not coming from a bad place. I'm just saying that, you got this surgery trying to make up for something going on in your life. And when he's like, no, just because, she had some work done, now all of a sudden she lacks substance. She's still the same person, blah, blah, blah. Then Robin chimed in. And it's like, well, you probably got that because of, I don't think they brought in about the marriage at that point. But anyway, they were still like dug in, like, girl, you're acting different. So what's her name? Because this is a lot. Sorry, you guys. Ashley is like, well, I'm not saying anything about your surgery, but you are acting different. You're more, I'm just going to say more vivacious, whatever. You're more like free. And so is it because you had the surgery and you're and Addie are both free now that you're acting like this? And she's like, no, I'm still the same person. And, basically I got the surgery because I wanted to get the surgery. There's nothing going on in my life, whatever. So, the tag team is still going at it. Now she's got to defend herself against Ashley. And I thought the way they were going at her was just really nasty. But I've been on the end of that. So I know how Wendy feels. And it's just like, you're trying to understand, like, why are these people attacking me? But sometimes you have to get past of trying to understand it and go into fight mode. And we're going to see later on that the women do push Wendy to fight mode, and she clears the floor, in my opinion, even though other people are saying she didn't. Yeah, so I did say that. So then we see stupid Mia once again trying to, get in on it. Mia's talking gibberish. Everybody's like, anyway. Oh, and then Mia tries to point out, well, about how she dresses, about even though they sell it at because she brought up Wendy's outfit that she bought from Zara, the one with it was the bodysuit with the thong, and she had on the jogging pants and the crop top, and it's like, okay, it could be said that Wendy is also having a midlife crisis. She is 37, a mom of 3, a wife, and she might be trying to live her young days, because that was an outfit she could have left at the store. She could have left, but it looked good on her. But, some things, like they said, you could be left at the store. But Wendy pointed out, I've never, passed judgment on you, Mia, for being a stripper. And Mia was like, well, wait a minute. I wasn't a stripper. I was an entertainer at a 5-star restaurant where they serve steak and lobster. Sure. Okay, yeah, they serve steak and lobster as you was up there stripping. Some nights you probably had to strip. And then Candace brought her home like, girl, you were a lady of the night. And we're going to see how that plays at the reunion. I don't think that's going to play well. And, so then Wendy was like, Mia was a stripper, and then they showed, and she lied and said she wasn't. And then, of course, Bravo being shady showed where she said she was a stripper. And even Giselle was like, you were a stripper. And Mia's like, no, I wasn't. It was just funny. And then Candace cracks on her for having big feet. Like, okay, Candy. I don't know why I want to call her Candy, but I think it's because, I'm in between a fire station, hospitals, police. So sometimes, we get a little noise. So I thought that was funny. And then the cameras pan down to Mia's feet. Now, Mia is tall. I think she's about 5'10". So yeah, Candace, unlike you, who's height challenged because we can no longer say the N word, we can no longer say midget, that's offensive now. You have to say little people. Yeah, Mia's tall, so she's gonna have big feet. So now, Candace is upset that they're, ruining her lunch. She's like, we can't even have a decent lunch. And then, where's Escala? What happened to Escala? She's not talking anymore, or she's not saying anything. And matter of fact, it was to a point where the door slammed into her face, not one time, but twice. Because they were going back to the house. Everybody's fussing, like a whole bunch of chickens, a whole bunch of hens. And Mia and Candace was bringing up the rear. So all the ladies went through the door and let the door slam in Mia and Candace's face. I thought that was funny. So then Robin, she just looked back. Robin is acting really stank this season to me, because it's like, girl, really, you shouldn't even be on this show. But she's showing her true self. And because she was supposed to be all about woman empowerment, and she's tearing Wendy down for no reason, and she's getting really ugly with it. And then, so that's the first time the door slammed in their face. So then Wendy comes back, opens the door, holds it. Mia doesn't hold it. Escala is talking. Nobody's paying attention to her, and they let the door slam in her face again. I'm like, oh no, Escala, no. Because I really want Escala to have a season 2. I really think she should have been made a housewife, but whatever reason, they picked Mia over her. I wonder why. As if you look at all the wives on this show, the majority of them are of light skin. I'm not trying to hate on light skinned black women, but all the big placeholders on this show are light skinned. So make that of what you will. So they all go in the house to get ready for the whiskey party. And so the whiskey company shows up. They can't even drink their flights of whiskey. We're going to get into it, because this is where, oh my God, I'm running over. This is where Wendy just blows out the whole field, as she should have. She was coming under attack. She had taken a lot of hits, and now she's going for the knockout. So they all get back in the house. They all get ready to enjoy the whiskey. Everybody but what's her name? Ashley, because of course, Ashley's breastfeeding. And so while they're getting ready to drink and stuff, Ashley and Giselle meet up, and Ashley's like, well, I'll talk to her about, the blogs or whatever, what's going on. Ashley said she would bring up about the blogs talking about Eddie possibly having an affair with a white woman and an outside baby. He got this person pregnant. I'm like, Ashley, you and her do not get along. She told you last year that to only address her by calling her Dr. Wendy. And I think she even called Ashley a B. So Ashley was the last person that Wendy would ever accept anything from. And sure enough, in quick fashion, Wendy handled her. She was like, no, I don't want to get up. Ashley was like, because Ashley asked her, hey, can we go outside and talk right away? Wendy was like, girl, nah, I don't want to talk to you. No, because she knew it was going to be some mess. Ashley was like, no, like, come on, talk. Like, and I wish somebody would talk to me like that. I wouldn't care if it was on the show. I'd be like, no, whatever you got to say it right here. Say it right here. Because, I noticed Ashley gets real high-handed with certain people on the show. She don't get that way with Giselle. Yeah, that's the only person that Ashley kind of respects, because she did have Robin going crazy one season to the point where Robin almost choked on her food as she was trying to get Ashley together. I mean, she put food in her head. Ashley had got Robin so upset. So I just didn't like the way she was telling her, like, no, come on, let's go outside and talk. So anyway, they go outside and talk. In the meantime, Robin is proceeding to get drunk and drink all the drinks that that Ashley can't drink. And, so Ashley tells her about the blogs, about what they're saying about her husband. So Wendy was like, oh, no, let me stop you there. It's all lies. It's all a bunch of BS, bullshit. And so I think she asked her, well, who told you? And she said Giselle told her, and then Wendy went off. She was like, Giselle is just the spawn of the devil. She's really evil. She's a miserable person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm done with the conversation. So Ashley was like, well, no, I'm just trying to tell you, and I don't believe it. Well, if you don't believe it, why bring it up? And then she's like, and really, she was like, well, I think Giselle just cares about you, and blah, blah. Well, if Giselle really cares, she should have brought it to me direct. Personally, she should have pulled me to the side to discuss what she may have read in the blog. So anyway, Wendy was done with the conversation, went back in the room, and then it was all out assault on Giselle, as she should have. She should have laid into Giselle. And so Wendy goes and says to, this was so funny. So as they're coming back in the room, we see Robin. She cannot dance. I'm like, what is wrong with Robin? Like, did she even grow up around black people? And she has no rhythm. She's trying to twerk. Now, didn't she just say last episode she was trying to tell Wendy, now you trying to twerk and pop, and all this other stuff. So Wendy comes in and brings up, pokes fun at Robin trying to twerk. Well, while you're twerking, let me bring up what we were talking about outside, And so Robin stops, because she's like, oh, okay. And basically Wendy lets Giselle know, you come for me. You talk about my husband, you go for my husband, you're talking about me. And we know when black women get to clapping, it's a done deal, it's over. So Wendy is threatening to beat the crap, over her talking about her husband. Wendy goes in on Robin, tells her, because Robin is piping up trying to talk, because she's like, girl, you need to get a cracker. Basically letting her know you're just Giselle's parrot, and you just really need to shut up. And then she told Robin to go to sleep. I was like, ooh, that was kind of, because, Robin had opened up about how she sleeps all the time. So, yeah. And, but at that point, Wendy is probably seeing red. She's probably seeing, like, why these women coming after me? And this is what you really want to talk about. Not so much about my surgeries. You want to bring up the fact that you heard that my husband may be cheating on me. And I'm telling you, it's not true. You need to stop talking about it. And on top of the fact that really neither one of you should talk, because you don't have a marriage. I think she told that to just Robin, she don't have no marriage. And Giselle, she's just a miserable person. She don't have no life, and she don't have a man to speak of. So really they should not be talking about her and her relationship with her husband. And I totally agree. And Mia pipes in again, because she's trying to get camera time, that, yeah, Ashley, you shouldn't have said anything to Wendy because Giselle is the one that was bringing it up. It should have been Giselle. So, yeah. And, then, I love this, Wendy leaves the room, goes, freshens up her lipstick, come back and curses out Giselle some more. and told her that God was paying her back for all the bullshit she's done in other people's lives, and she's done. She believes everything that people have ever said about Giselle, and she let them know, I got a bazooka, like, look, I'll just take out this whole floor. So I didn't know it. Everybody else didn't know. The whiskey company people were still there. So these women showed their behinds in front of this whiskey company. And, but Giselle, she's a trooper. She's a fighter. She's like saying, you know what? It didn't come from a malicious place. I actually like Eddie. Oh, really? You like Eddie that much that you would bring up some garbage? And Karen says but then Karen says in her confessional that everybody knew about the blogs, what they were saying about Eddie, but Giselle was the only one to bring it up. And like I said before, Giselle is Wendy's sorority sister. They might not have pledged. Of course they couldn't, because Giselle is older than her. But they're both AKAs, and you would think that she would give her a break and have the decency to pull Wendy to the side and say, hey, is everything okay? Is this why you got the surgery? Because I see in the blogs that they're talking about Eddie. But she didn't do that. For whatever reason, Giselle has set her sights on Wendy, that Wendy's the target, and I wish Wendy well. She's doing well. She's going to have to keep fighting her. But the thing is with Potomac, as far as the versus like Real Housewives of New York, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, these women are all about destroying each other's marriages. And we've been down this road before. And Giselle knows better, because her relationship with Sherman was destroyed by Monique. It was destroyed. So now you want to do this to Wendy? So anyway, it was a good one. Wendy held her own. She shut up Robin when she went after Robin's marriage. She got Giselle together about her non-relationships, because she said, look, I knew about Eddie back in Baltimore and about what he was up to while he was married to you. I was like, wow. Everybody was like, whoa, So yeah, it was a good episode. And I think even Candace and Ashley had it out a little bit, because Candace was like, why did you bring that up, given what happened to you, blah, blah, blah. Because she was like, I didn't tell you anything from the blogs. I told you, somebody had actually contacted Candace and sent pictures of Michael cheating on Ashley. So anyway, Candace told her, take your big forehead and your breast milk and get out of here. So she said, get the fuck out. So I thought that was funny. So anyway, until next time, thank you for watching. Like I said before, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the like button and leave me a comment. Let me know you stopped by. Bye.